You know, this is a dream. This is something I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was in like 2nd grade, like get a basketball scholarship, play in the WNBA. Like, this is always something I wanted to do.
The WNBA has long been a hotbed of competitive energy, including some of the world's most gifted athletes, some like Caitlin Clark, whose rapid ascent has created an undertone of dissatisfaction. Also, Teresa Weatherspoon, the Chicago Sky's head coach.
You have to ask yourself that every single day that you live this life. Are you impacting the lives of other people? So I'm praying that the position that I hold tells people.
Recently made headlines at a news conference for what many are calling an unusual outburst, as well as her team's performance. The seasoned coach, renowned for her calm demeanor and great knowledge, surprised everyone when she refused to address questions regarding Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Keep moving! Keep moving! There we go!
How have you liked your attack on the offensive end, Spoon?
This event has caused significant conjecture and debate in the basketball world, prompting many to wonder, what is it about Caitlin Clark that is shaking up the WNBA so dramatically? In this video, we'll examine the controversy surrounding Teresa Weatherspoon's response and how Clark's presence in the league has changed the dynamics on the court, while also ruffling the feathers of established players and coaches.
Honestly, I think setting my teammates up, I think that just like provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going, and when everybody can like touch the ball and, you know, get going in that way, I think it just, you know, everybody just flows a little bit better. The offense flows a little bit better. But that's something I take a lot of pride in. At times I think I can try to like overpass and probably could be a little more aggressive to the basket. But yeah, I think with the weapons that we have on our team.
We'll also investigate why Clark's influence on the WNBA is becoming a double-edged sword, bringing both unprecedented attention and great pressure on the league.
Yeah, I think we responded well after we had to use that timeout early in the third.
To comprehend the full scope of the present conflict, you must first understand why Caitlin Clark is generating such a stir in the WNBA.
I think turnovers are costing us a little bit. If we can take care of the ball a little bit better, we'll be in a better position, but I thought we did better on the O boards.
Clark's performance on the professional stage has been nothing short of remarkable. She is not just playing the game, she is rewriting the rules and establishing new standards.
But they go in. Not only do they go in consistently. And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player.
Clark made it evident right away that she wasn't your typical rookie. Her performances have repeatedly been jaw-dropping, and her statistics prove it. Clark, who averages 22.6 points.
I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now
7.8 assists and 5.4 rebounds per game, and has a 34.6% three-point shooting percentage, is not only making an impact,
slowly developing and getting better and better. And yeah, I think we're just, you know, learning as time goes and each game goes, like we're just getting better and better.
You've had an absolutely whirlwind first half of your rookie campaign. I want to ask you how much you're looking forward to this break, right, coming up.
But also creating history. These statistics are astonishing for any athlete, much alone a rookie. It's a little surprising that she's immediately been the focus of talks about the WNBA's future.
Well, she's definitely taken that golden advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
However, Clark's effect extends beyond her statistics. Her impact on the Indiana Fever has been nothing short of transformational. Last season, the Fever finished with a 13-27 record, making them one of the league's worst teams.
This is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
However, with Clark at the helm, the Fever have made a stunning turnaround. They're no longer the league's punching bag.
I think it's easy. Like, these people are my best friends, and like, that's not for show. Like, I seriously know, like, I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back. And
instead, they're vying for a postseason place after already exceeding last year's victory total. Clark seemed to have revitalized the whole squad, transforming them into a formidable force.
Yeah, they've both been tremendous. I thought they played great defense. They've made great decisions out of the pick and roll or pick and pop. We got to keep going to them.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
The Fever's comeback hasn't gone unnoticed. They're playing entertaining, competitive basketball, and fans are paying attention. Clark's arrival has revitalized the squad.
More than anything, I know these girls are going to be my best friends for the rest of my life, and really that's all that matters to me. I don't really care if we win another game. It's just having these people in my life for forever.
resulting in an inevitable increase in expectations. However, although the Fever's success story is one of the most thrilling events in recent WNBA history,
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth. But really proud of our team.
it has also resulted in a slew of unexpected repercussions. With tremendous success comes considerable attention, not all of which is beneficial.
Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
As Clark's fame continues to grow, so does the hostility she seems to be instilling in her opponents.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you, Stephen A., if you had promoted the WNBA more, if you had talked about it more, they would have played more games. Like I had the power to go up to ESPN and say, directors and producers and cameramen and everybody else flock to the WNBA. At the time,
The WNBA has always had its fair share of rivalries and competitive edge, but what we're seeing now with Clark and the Indiana Fever is something new, more fierce.
People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that,
One of the most striking evidence of this growing hatred came in a recent game versus the Connecticut Sun. During the match, Alyssa Thomas committed a hard foul on Clark, which many fans and experts deemed unwarranted and unnecessarily violent. The foul was largely viewed as a direct message. Welcome to the WNBA, rookie. It was a sharp reminder that despite her outstanding accomplishments, Clark is still seen as an outsider by some of the league's veterans. However, the situation with Thomas is not uncommon. In many games, Clark has faced more physical and aggressive defense.
Give it up for these women, these incredible seniors, and thank you for all that you've done.
Opposing teams seem eager to go to any length to control her, even crossing the line into unsportsmanlike behavior. This kind of approach demonstrates Clark's impact. Teams are starting to regard her as more than simply a brilliant player, but also a real danger to their success.
honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball.
Clark's resilience, however, is her most outstanding quality. Despite the increasing aggressiveness and efforts to knock her off her game, she stays undeterred. She continues to play her signature style of basketball, making impossible passes, scoring long-range shots, and leading her team with grace and confidence. Clark isn't simply surviving the hardships she faces, she's flourishing in them. Given the background of escalating tensions, it's no wonder that emotions are high around the league. However, Teresa Weatherspoon's reply at a recent news appearance surprised many. Weatherspoon, a renowned figure in women's basketball, is noted for her wide knowledge and level-headed approach to the game.
I'm pretty sure I'll be in a three-point competition for everybody to watch at some point. Not everybody needs to freak out. So, but also like, the roster that we have in the three-point competition is incredible. You look at their percentages, they're all 40% three-point shooters. Like, they're shooting better percentage-wise than I am, so they all deserve it. I'll be there supporting, watching them. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was just like take some rest and make a decision for myself, which is at times can be hard to do. And
that's why her hasty exit from a news appearance, refusing to answer questions regarding Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, has perplexed many. In all of my years covering basketball, I've never seen anything like that. Coaches are often required to exhibit a sense of calm and professionalism, particularly in front of the media. However, Weatherspoon's reply was anything but calm.
I'm honestly proud of myself for doing that.
I so appreciate your honesty there. And I was talking to Diana Taurasi earlier today.
Her abrupt departure generated more questions than it answered, leading everyone to speculate on what might have provoked such a strong reaction. To comprehend the importance of this occasion, we must first analyze Teresa Weatherspoon.
Yeah, obviously nothing's official, and for this league, like, to me, it's like sky's the limit. You're seeing how incredible it can be. You can see how hard it is to get a ticket to get into the doors, how many people want to turn it on their television, how people are traveling miles and miles to come and watch and have an opportunity to interact with the players or just watch the players play basketball live in person. So, obviously expansion is going to really help. The new media deal is going to help.
She is not just any coach, she is a Hall of Famer, a two-time WNBA champion, and a veteran of the women's basketball world. For someone of her standing to respond in this manner implies that something else is going on. One idea suggests that Weatherspoon's behavior stems from dissatisfaction. The Chicago sky, on which she has poured her heart and her, is faltering this season, but Clark's Indiana fever is on the rise.
And I think you're just going to continue to see it grow. This is really only the beginning in my eyes. It's the hardest league in all of sports with only, less than 144 spots. Obviously that's expanding, but I'm excited. The people that have been in this league deserve it, and then obviously the people that are going to continue to come into this league are.
It's conceivable that witnessing her team struggle while a rookie like Clark dominates the league is hard for her to accept. After all, Weatherspoon has spent years establishing her image and team, and suddenly a 22-year-old is stealing the show. This might be a difficult pill to take for someone who has devoted their life to the sport.
90 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Looking for Reese. Magdendley tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark.
The Caitlin Clark effect refers not just to her on-court performance, but also to how she is transforming the whole WNBA. Her success has brought the league unparalleled exposure, recruiting new fans, and creating media coverage that women's basketball has seldom experienced before. This increased prominence is definitely beneficial to the sport as a whole, but it is also causing a ripple effect that puts pressure on everyone involved.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break? From Olympic action and basketball in general, I guess?
For years, the WNBA has struggled to establish its position in the cluttered sports scene, sometimes failing to attract the same degree of attention as men's leagues.
The craziness of everything that's been going on, and just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
What was it like to try to prepare for Team USA? You were in Cleveland when they were hosting camp, but obviously you had other things in your mind, I think.
However, with Clark's arrival, the narrative is starting to alter. Fever games are attracting record crowds, social media is humming with her highlights, and everyone wants to speak about the WNBA. Clark is more than simply a player. She is a phenomenon who is transforming the league in ways few could have predicted.
Competitors. They're out there to compete to go win. And when you're in a different uniform, you're just competing to go win. And then a lot of times it's at all costs.
However, this sudden exposure brings a lot of strain. Coaches who previously worked in relative obscurity are now under scrutiny. Every tactical choice, replacement, and post-game statement is scrutinized more than ever before. Some may embrace this transition as an opportunity to get the recognition they deserve finally. Others, however, find it very stressful. Teresa Weatherspoon's response may be seen as a microcosm of the larger problem. As a seasoned coach, she's used to working inside a certain framework, which Clark's presence has upended. The increased media attention, the pressure to perform, and the necessity to adjust to a new style of play are all contributing to a more difficult situation for established league figures.
We did as a team, we spoke about it, we did what we had to do as a team to speak about how we conduct ourselves, and we moved on from there. The world kept speaking, you let the world keep speaking, but
there's also the issue of playing style. Caitlin Clark plays a daring style of basketball with dangerous passes and long-range shots. This style contradicts professional football's old norms, and for more conservative coaches, it may seem to be an affront to the right way to play. Clark's performance demonstrates that there are other ways to win in the WNBA, but it also forces coaches and players to reevaluate their approaches to the game. Then there's the money side. Clark's success brings more money and attention to the league, increasing the pressure on everyone to excel. Coaches who are unable to adjust to this new age may find themselves swiftly out of job, while slow-moving players risk falling behind. The stakes have never been greater, and for some, this is a tough fact to accept.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. Indiana Fever arguably playing and statistically playing some of the best basketball since the break.
Did you know that Caitlin Clark is the first WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles? This historic achievement has sent shockwaves across the league, and as you can guess, not everyone is taking it well.
For myself, I'm just very thankful and grateful, and if I can help in any way, that's all I'm trying to do is continue to bring people to want to support this game. Well, I honestly can't wait to not touch a basketball for a while. Oh my God, I think I've shot too many times in the past year, but...
Caitlin Clark's ascension is not only making headlines, it is also causing debates.
I mean, it's an honor.
We saw the whole team give a big inhale, exhale for Arike and for everybody. Tell me, what was that all about?
Frustrations and perhaps some collateral harm. Caitlin's remarkable performance continues to propel her into MVP conversations, while other players, teams, and storylines crumble under the burden. The Chicago Sky is one squad that is really feeling the fire right now, and Angel Reese is one of the players bearing the brunt of this turbulence.
Most dominant player, which is Caitlin Reese, but she also paid homage to both of those players being as dominant and bright as they are.
All right, Mitchell.
Angel Reese, formerly expected to be the Chicago Sky's future, is now the source of fan and team sadness.
Death threats, I've been sexualized, I've been threatened, I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human, like.
But how did it get to this point? Why are Chicago Sky supporters turning against one of their great players? How does Caitlin Clark's dominance affect the development of the drama?
Be able to be with that team, so it was an honor to come out there and play against them. Coming off the bench, I just wanted to bring as much energy as I could.
Some people might think you guys would have taken it easy on them late in this game, let them get their confidence back, but absolutely.
Today we look at the causes behind the Chicago Sky's recent troubles, rising dissatisfaction with Angel Reese, and how Caitlin Clark's rapid ascent might be the tipping point.
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but, got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth, but really proud.
Let's start by reviewing Caitlin Clark's recent successes. Her triple-double in the WNBA is nothing short of historic. In fact, she's the only rookie in league history to record 2 triple-doubles. If that wasn't spectacular enough.
It's been a long time coming, but honestly, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like you said, the 2 expansion teams that already announced and are, going to be coming over the course of the next 2 years, that's only going to help the league grow. It's going to get more eyeballs, get us into new markets. The new media rights deal, that's going to help. So it's just, day by day, year by year, it's only going to continue to get better, and it's going to give people an opportunity to.
Her performance occurred at a critical moment for her team, resulting in vital wins and positioning her as a strong contender for MVP.
Catching's career. So Caitlin, she continues to make history. She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month.
The statistics speak for themselves. Caitlin Clark's ability to affect the game in many ways, scoring, assisting, and rebounding, distinguishes her from her counterpart.
Yeah, they've both been tremendous. I thought they played great defense. They've made great decisions out of the pick and roll or pick and pop. We got to keep going to them. All right, thanks. Thank you.
She's shattering records, exceeding expectations, and making it seem effortless. But it isn't simply her stats that stand out.
It's definitely some of stuff I want to work on personally that I can work on with Coach Jesse, and then I think it's also a training camp vibe in terms of how long we're going and how hard we're going, just because you can't really do that in the season as much. But also it's different because I feel like we have such great connection. I came into training camp and I didn't know my teammates that well, but now we're starting to build that chemistry. And
it's the rippling effect her performances are having throughout the league. While Caitlin soars to new heights, her domination casts an unfavorable light on other players, particularly those who have failed to live up to the promise.
Trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for 3, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
Angel Reese is one of the players feeling the strain. Angel entered the WNBA with a lot of anticipation. Fans and commentators alike saw her as a potential Rookie of the Year contender. Her stature, agility, and ability to record double-doubles made her seem like a definite success. However, things haven't gone as planned.
There's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't like seeing somebody black coming at somebody white who is a beloved star of theirs. That's not the case with all. It's not the case with most. But those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes. And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do. And so you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from.
The similarity between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has grown unavoidable. While Caitlin makes headlines and leads her team to success, Angel struggles both individually and as a member of a sinking squad. The narrative that once portrayed Angel as the next great thing in the WNBA is rapidly unraveling, and supporters are losing patience.
I'm so excited for this league. I mean, super competitive. Being able to be a rookie out here, I hope many more times I'm out here. And this crowd came out tonight to support so many different people. I'm happy.
Thank you. I mean, Alicia Gray, you know that, right? Sorry. Thank you.
Despite her alleged all-world talent, Angel's performances have left much to be desired, and the Chicago Sky's recent losing run has just exacerbated these concerns.
Hey, Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
Incredible.
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly, and she disrespected Alexis.
What was once cynicism about her near Rookie of the Year status has turned into real amazement that she was ever considered a major candidate. In fact, many say Angel hasn't come close to realizing her potential for more than 2 months.
In the locker room, Cheryl told Enrique at halftime, just take a deep breath and breathe. So everybody like, okay, she didn't tell me that, so I could go out there and score 32. So Enrique, she's cold. I mean, I'm so glad to be able to play with her.
And her deterioration is just becoming more apparent. Angel Reese is one of many underperforming.
Perfect justification for keeping people at bay and not letting people too close where they could potentially hurt you. It's something most people usually learn when they get older. You learned it younger, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You're at an advantage. As for the Caitlin Clark fan she was alluding to, she ain't lying.
The whole Chicago Sky squad seems to be on a downward spiral, with their current 7-game losing run perplexing fans and observers. The team's once promising season has turned into a nightmare, and it's easy to see why. Despite their skill on paper, the Sky have been unable to transform individual triumphs into collective success.
That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way. Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese.
Fans understand the irony of the situation. A squad called the Sky crashes and burns directly in front of everyone's eyes. What's even more perplexing is the team's choice to continue emphasizing individual metrics, such as Angel Reese's double-doubles, while their record continues to fall.
Happy we won. It was cool to play against her, and obviously a really great game. And like you said, this crowd was absolutely incredible.
Awesome, Caitlin. Congratulations.
Thanks.
The Sky are 2-8 in their past 10 games, narrowly clinging onto a playoff berth.
But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, a lot of my focus was on my college season. I didn't have time to go to a training camp, and then obviously it was a quick turnaround to come here. So yeah, I think it's, you know, it's just a good motivation for us. And then we all know how talented that team is. Like, you look at that roster, and a lot of players I've already had the opportunity to play in this league that are just so good. And, you know, I know they're going to go out there and dominate, and I'm going to be watching and cheering for them. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Have you heard from anyone that stood out from you about that decision? Meaning like an NBA player or anything like, or someone you're close? No. Okay.
We're talking in a lot of ifs here. I know you just said you would like.
Fans are becoming more upset, and their rage is aimed at both the squad and Angel Reese herself. During this losing run, the Chicago Sky's social media staff shared a message on Angel Reese's 24 double-doubles, asking,
All this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And
do you know what's cooler than 24 double-doubles? 25 inches.
I think people have done whatever they can do right now to watch our games. So now being able to make it easier and so many more people can watch is going to be really good.
There's going to be a ton of eyeballs on that game on Saturday night, and this is a question that I'll be asking Caitlin in a few minutes as well. But is there something from her skill set, from her game, that you would want to add to your own?
This article, intended to highlight Angel's achievements, backfired badly. It was uploaded mere hours before Caitlin Clark scored her second triple-double, emphasizing the dramatic difference between the two athletes. While Caitlin's triple-doubles are propelling her team to success, Angel's double-doubles are beginning to ring hollow in light of her team's losing record.
Bentley tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark whips a pass, thread the needle. My goodness.
The repercussions were swift and devastating. Chicago Sky supporters rushed to social media to express their dissatisfaction, with many accusing the squad of putting individual numbers ahead of team goals. Fans were quick to point out that the Sky's emphasis on Angel Reese's double-doubles was tone-deaf, considering their 7-game losing streak and generally awful play. One fan said it best, "Are we simply not bothered about winning anymore? Is it all about feeding the ball to Angel and getting her numbers?" Others wondered why the club wasn't concentrating on winning games rather than exciting a player whose individual successes weren't converting into wins.
In that game, Clark scored her 103-point shot this season, becoming just the 6th woman to do so and first in her rookie season.
The criticism did not end there. Angel Reese started to get criticism from disgruntled fans, who pointed out that despite having the most shots at the rim in the WNBA, she ranked dead last in efficiency. This figure simply added gasoline to the fire, as people began to doubt if Angel was really the celebrity she was portrayed to be.
A lot. Like, I tried to watch the WNBA as much as I could. I mean, Maya Moore was my favorite player growing up. I can't remember, like, specifically, like, one all-star game. That's tough for me. But, I mean, I always watch. Like, I was a huge supporter.
The connection to Caitlin Clark became even more obvious. Whereas Caitlin was closing in on MVP honors, Angel was nothing near earning Rookie of the Year.
Chicago Sky. Now they had opened up a perfect 3-for-3 from 3. Boston trying to look for it. Kelsey Mitchell catch shoots.
The figures do not lie. Angel Reese may be putting up double-doubles, but her efficiency is dismal. She attempts more shots at the rim than any other player in the WNBA, but her inability to convert them into points has left fans and observers puzzled.
Hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but...
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has emerged as an MVP candidate despite just being in her first season.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer!
The huge contrast between these two players' performances is tough to overlook. Caitlin Clark's ability to come up in clutch situations and lead her team to win has exacerbated Angel Reese's troubles.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong.
While Caitlin is leading her team to victory, Angel's efforts are beginning to seem pointless in light of the Chicago Sky's continual failures.
Smith looking to attack Reese. Reese taps it away. Banham gets it out to Allen. This is what Chicago wants to do. Out and running pace.
The fact that ESPN just rated Angel Reese ahead of Caitlin Clark in the Rookie of the Year contest adds to the debate.
Keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated. Staying who you are. Staying 10 toes. Don't back down. And just be confident.
Fans and observers alike are perplexed by this rating, particularly as Caitlin Clark's performance obviously outperforms Angel's in practically every area. Caitlin Clark seems to be closer to earning MVP than Angel Reese is to winning Rookie of the Year.
If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22.
The troubles of Chicago Sky extend beyond Angel Reese's performance. The team as a whole is suffering, and many supporters blame the coaching staff for putting Angel's statistics ahead of the club's performance. There is a growing belief that the Sky is more concerned with helping Angel boost her stats than with winning games. One of the most obvious instances is the team's handling of Camila Cardoso, a higher draft selection and perhaps better rookie than Angel Reese. Despite her skill, Cardoso has been overlooked in favor of Angel, and people are taking note. Many think that if the squad concentrated on getting the ball to Cardoso rather than feeding Angel's numbers, they would have a greater chance of turning their season around.
I like the way she plays. I love her. I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing. The game right now is just, at an all-time high for the.
However, as things stand, the Chicago Sky is more interested in highlighting Angel Reese's successes than in developing a successful team. This choice is costing them heavily in terms of victories and fan support. The team's latest social media postings have just shown how disconnected they are from their audience, and the anger is intensifying by the day.
Here is really hurting Chicago tonight. Kennedy a guard, but so effective in the paint.
Despite all of the turmoil, Caitlin Clark maintains her composure and focuses on what she can manage. Her hard ethic and passion for the game are paying off, as she not only achieves unprecedented triple-doubles, but also leads her team to victory. While some players get caught up in stories and personal successes, Caitlin stays laser-focused on winning, and it's paying off handsomely. As the WNBA season unfolds, it will be fascinating to watch how Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's rivalry grows. Will Caitlin continue to grow and secure her position as an MVP candidate? Will Angel Reese find a way to turn things around and prove her critics wrong? One thing is certain, if the Chicago Sky are to recover their season, they must learn to prioritize team success above individual statistics.
Final few seconds. Caitlin Clark, a career-high night. The Fever put up 110.
For the time being, it seems like Caitlin Clark is grinning while the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese are forced to pick up the pieces after yet another defeat. As supporters continue to express their dissatisfaction, the pressure builds, and the team's next steps will be critical in deciding how the season concludes. Will they turn things around, or will they keep crashing and burning? Only time will tell.
Yeah, they've both been tremendous. I thought they played great defense. They've made great decisions out of the pick and roll or pick and pop.
The world of women's basketball has been steadily rising for decades, but it has only just started to gain the recognition it deserves. Caitlin Clark, a player who has enthralled audiences throughout the United States and abroad, has played a crucial role in this shift. Caitlin Clark, known for her remarkable abilities, exciting performances, and unmistakable personality, has single-handedly revolutionized the WNBA's reputation, attracting fans who may otherwise have neglected women's sports.
Best college athlete, women's sports presented by Athleta is Caitlin Clark.
Until recently, the WNBA failed to attract the same amount of public attention as its male counterpart, the NBA. Despite having some of the world's most gifted athletes, the league's games were often overlooked, and attendance could have been better at best.
And I think we were down 2 points at halftime, but then we started the third quarter really, really strong, and I think that kind of set the tone for the second half, and we didn't really look back, and then Enrique got...
However, the arrival of Caitlin Clark has altered all of that. In only a few years, she has become not just the league's face, but also one of its most popular attractions. Clark has captivated basketball fans worldwide with her remarkable shooting range, ability to dominate the game, and ferocious competitive attitude. She is now the #1 player in the United States, a distinction that represents both her supremacy on and off the court.
I feel very lucky to be a part of this weekend, and I think Phoenix did a tremendous job of putting this weekend on. The fans were incredible. Obviously, the game was really good.
Caitlin Clark is not like any other player in the women's game. From the time she goes onto the court, it is evident that she boasts a distinct set of abilities that distinguishes her from her colleagues. Her shooting range is, without a doubt, the most impressive feature of her game. Clark can shoot from distances that most players would never contemplate, and she does it with incredible effectiveness. Her vast shooting range has been her hallmark, and it has changed what is possible in women's basketball.
All night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience?
Clark's game, however, includes more than simply long shots. What actually distinguishes her is the way she blends her shooting power with other abilities to create her a complete player.
Praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up.
Her court vision is superb, enabling her to make precise passes and set up her teammates for scoring opportunities. She's also an excellent ball handler, capable of breaking down defenses with her dribble and generating chances for herself and others.
Here, Caitlin Clark just dancing with the basketball, going to her left.
Clark's game is reminiscent of several of the NBA's best players. Her shooting, passing, and ball handling abilities have earned her comparisons to NBA luminaries LeBron James, Jason Kidd, and Steve Steve Nash. LeBron James is recognized for his flexibility and ability to dominate every facet of the game, and Clark has comparable characteristics. Despite being a guard, she has an outstanding ability to finish near the basket, similar to James.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to come in here and compete. We knew we needed to make the Olympic team, help them prepare for Paris, so that was our goal. We knew they were going to compete, so we competed too.
Her 62.7% shooting percentage from inside 5 feet of the basket is not only excellent, but also astounding, particularly for a player her stature. Her ability to score around the rim gives her continuous danger.
Yeah, she was huge. She never shies away from the moment. She made some huge shots for us, but she's just poised, very poised. You can see it in her face, like she wants to be in those moments, so I'm super proud of her.
Requiring defenses to keep a tight eye on her every move. Then there's the comparison to Jason Kidd, a player known for his rebounding and quick playmaking. Clark too excels in these fields. Her rebounding stats are excellent for a guard, and she's constantly eager to push the ball in transition, quickly converting defense into offense.
13,000 fans. Somebody else had 15. Everybody else had over 20,000 plus. You think that would happen if Caitlin Clark was on that team? You think that would happen if Angel Reese was on that team? But especially Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better.
Her ability to manage the pace of the game makes her an invaluable asset to her squad. Finally, there's the comparison to Steve Nash and Steph Curry, two of NBA history's finest shooters. Clark, like Nash, has a creative side to her game, often finding ways to make tough shots seem simple. Like Curry, she possesses an almost effortless shooting technique that enables her to score from wherever on the floor.
It's going to be, hard to lose, so we're just trying to get her the ball. So, proud of us. It was a lot of fun, and I thought we played really hard.
It's no surprise that fans and experts alike have made these parallels. Caitlin Clark seems to combine the greatest aspects of these NBA icons into a spectacular package. Caitlin Clark's effect.
3 for the Sparks, 0 for 9, and Caitlin Clark says
stretches much beyond her performances. She has become a sensation that is propelling the WNBA forward in terms of viewership and attendance. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and it's being felt around the league.
Box office. Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership.
When Clark is on the court, everyone pays attention. Her games generate a lot of interest both from those in the bleachers and those watching at home. The stats speak for themselves. Anytime Clark performs, attendance increases dramatically. For example, the Atlanta Dream just established a record for the largest attendance at a WNBA game in Georgia history, thanks in large part to the presence of Caitlin Clark. The Caitlin Clark effect has become a formidable force in women's basketball, and other teams and players are eager to capitalize on it.
Got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level, so I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth. But
this increasing interest has resulted in more games being aired nationally, providing the WNBA with a platform to reach a larger audience. Last year, the Indiana Fever had just one nationally broadcast game. This year, they had 36 of 40 games on national television. This demonstrates the WNBA's expanding popularity, with Caitlin Clark playing a significant role in that rise.
It would mean everything. That's like one of my dreams as a kid growing up. You always want to be an Olympic gold medalist.
Her presence on the court has made her a TV attraction, with millions tuning in to see her play.
Fans that love Caitlin's game, and Caitlin is having a phenomenal season, but what I want people to think about is
However, it is not only about TV ratings and attendance counts. The Caitlin Clark effect has had a direct influence on ticket sales and game advertising. When Clark is due to play, teams go all out to publicize the match. They make hype films, flood social media with postings, and even relocate games to bigger locations to meet greater demand.
She's always been a fan of mine, and I've always been a fan of hers, and she's just very down to earth, a great person. And
this proactive effort is paying off, as games starring Clark often sell out, leaving just standing room tickets available. Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA cannot be emphasized.
I'm happy for her, and it was fun. Like, they tried to sub me in for her. I'm like, no, I'm staying on the bench. This is fun to watch.
She is not just an excellent player, but also a marketing sensation, and her influence is helping to propel the league to new heights. The WNBA is still expanding, and with athletes like Clark leading the way, its prospects are brighter than ever.
Now, me as a fan of Caitlin Clark, I would have loved to see her on this international stage, but I understand that Team USA constructs their roster not necessarily.
Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA extends beyond her marketability and the energy she brings to the game. She is also a great player, smashing records and establishing new standards for what is possible in the league.
Without all of you, so seriously, I mean that, and I thank you, and this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but
one of the most notable accomplishments in Clark's career so far has been establishing the rookie record for most assists in a season. With 9 assists in a recent game, she broke the old record and now has 232. This accomplishment is especially amazing, considering that Clark is just in her first season with the WNBA. Her ability to improve her teammates and generate scoring chances demonstrates her selflessness and in-depth grasp of the game.
We want to be back in the playoffs. That's been our goal since, the season started. We haven't been there since 2016, so.
Clark, however, is more than simply an assister. She is also on track to beat Alyssa Thomas' all-time WNBA assist record of 316, with 12 games remaining in the season.
We got to make a playoff push. We know our schedule is going to be difficult, and there's going to be teams fighting for.
Clark has a good chance of surpassing this number, establishing her position as one of the best playmakers in league history.
thank you so much, and I just feel really grateful to be here, and I've put on an Iowa jersey for 4 years, but like Coach Bluter and Kate said, there's still so much more fun to have, and we're not done.
In addition to her assist records, Clark has received attention for her scoring abilities. She has routinely been one of the league's top scorers, with some of the greatest shooting percentages in the WNBA. Her ability to score from any position on the floor, along with her efficiency, puts her a continuous danger to opposition defenses.
I think it's easy. These people are my best friends, and that's not for show. I seriously know, I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back. And
Clark's accomplishments are great, but what makes them even more astounding is the circumstances in which they were accomplished. She is competing in a league that is more competitive than ever, with teams loaded with skill and coaches continuously developing new methods to slow her down.
it's going to give people an opportunity to see how good women's basketball is.
Despite these hurdles, Clark continues to compete at a very high level, and her records demonstrate her devotion, ability, and hard work. While Caitlin Clark's career has been full of plaudits and accomplishments, it has also been fraught with obstacles and scandals. Like any high-profile athlete, Clark has encountered criticism and struggle, and how she has handled these circumstances has only contributed to her fame.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years I'm very grateful, starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID.
One of the most significant hurdles Clark has experienced is getting passed over for the U.S. national team. Despite her stellar success in the WNBA, she was not chosen to represent her country in international competition.
I have heard that rumor. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they're selling pretty well.
Many fans and experts were surprised and disappointed by Clark's omission, believing that her skill and effect on the game made her an easy pick for the roster. Rather than becoming discouraged by this setback, Clark turned it into inspiration.
Obviously, my sophomore year, we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So
during a hiatus from the Olympic women's basketball squad, she rested and improved her skills. Since then, she has performed at an even better level, demonstrating that she is among the world's finest players. Her perseverance and tenacity in the face of hardship have endeared her to fans and made her a role model for young athletes worldwide.
But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league.
Clark has also been engaged in a few on-court disputes. In a recent game, she received a technical penalty for pounding the base of the hoop in desperation after a missed shot. The referee chastised her for disrespecting the game.
More than anything, they're my best friends off the court, and I think that's why we thrive on the court and have so much fun together. And more than anything, I know these girls are going to be my best friends for the rest of my life, and really that's all that matters to me.
But Clark claimed that her actions were motivated by her competitive personality and desire to do better. Surprisingly, she hailed the referee for the technical infraction, claiming that it inspired her to play harder and that her team improved as a result.
And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoops, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game. I know the Monica McNutts and others were getting very, very frustrated at all of the buzz that was going in her direction, not to hate on Caitlin Clark in any way, because I'm sure Monica McNutt does not feel that way. She just knows that there were people on the ground pounding the pavement that were doing so much for women's basketball.
This event demonstrates another part of Clark's personality, her boldness. She is open about her feelings on the court and pushes the limits to achieve wins.
No, Caitlin Clark. Respectfully, Cheryl Swoops, you have any idea how that makes you?
While this has sometimes caused controversy, it has also made her one of the most captivating players to watch in the WNBA. Aside from the court, Clark has been outspoken about the WNBA's difficulties, notably in terms of pay. Like many other players in the league, she feels that WNBA compensation should be greater, particularly considering the league's expanding popularity and profitability. Clark has been a champion for WNBA players' improved wages and working conditions.
No, I mean, they're really good. They have plenty of talent on that team. It was the same, I think 4 years prior. I'm pretty sure the Team WNBA beat Team USA.
And her views on the subject have resonated with many fans and teammates. Caitlin Clark's impact extends beyond her on-court accomplishments. She is also making waves off the court, notably in sponsorships and marketing.
They were perfectly fine in the Olympics. I think if anything, it shows how good this league is. It shows how much talent is in this league and how you have to show up and prepare every single night.
Clark, one of the most recognizable women in the WNBA, has won many high-profile endorsement agreements, which have considerably increased her salary and visibility.
Down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great, they're gonna market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole.
Clark's endorsement partnerships include a broad variety of items and businesses, including sports gear and consumer goods. Her popularity stems not just from her basketball skills, but also from her personality and ability to interact with people.
Caitlin Clark can ball. She should have been on Team USA because you needed the marketing buzz. I didn't say she was better than all 12 players that were on the team instead of her. Even though when they almost lost to France, I was getting nervous. Diana Taurasi wasn't on the court. I said, you need somebody that can shoot.
She is seen as a relatable person, one who is enthusiastic about her sport and committed to her art.
It's going to be really nice. I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to,
This has made her a popular spokeswoman for brands trying to attract a younger, more diversified audience. Clark's endorsement earnings are one of the most profitable elements of her career. According to current predictions, she may make millions of dollars in sponsorships alone as her fame and marketability improve. This is a big achievement for the WNBA, since it demonstrates that players in the league can reach financial success comparable to those in other sports.
But this is a non-story. So you don't think she has literally put life into WNBA? Yeah, we're talking about it right now, but I don't think she's going anywhere.
Clark's financial effect goes beyond her profits. Her participation in the league has boosted WNBA franchise values and increased total income. More fans are attending games, more merchandise is being sold, and more organizations are investing in the NBA, all of which can be traced back to the Caitlin Clark effect.
You a WNBA player? Caitlin Clark gonna get you paid. I'd figure out a way to be her friend. Or her friend of me. That's what Angel Reese has done.
Caitlin Clark's success in the sponsorship business bodes well for the WNBA's future. It demonstrates that the league's players can be more than simply athletes. They can be cultural icons and influential figures in sports and beyond.
You want to continue to get more of those players into this league because there's so many fans at the college level and continue to bring those fans here. So
as the WNBA grows, other players are sure to follow in Clark's footsteps, landing hefty contracts and helping to propel the league to new heights. Caitlin Clark's climb to the top of the WNBA has been nothing short of incredible.
I think people stepped up when their number was called and they were put into the game, and I thought we came out and started the second half well and really just found a way and dug deep and made plays when we needed to.
She has swiftly established herself as one of the most significant players in the game. Thanks to her unique skill set and effect on the league's popularity, her accomplishments on the court, along with her marketability off the court, have transformed her into a force to be reckoned with, and her future in the league seems to be very promising.
Messing with her, I always mess around with her, but then I told her, that record's for you, but maybe we'll break it at one point. Who knows?
So while we celebrate Caitlin Clark being named the #1 player in the United States, let us also look forward to the many more triumphs that are likely to follow. The WNBA is on the rise, and with stars like Clark leading the way, the future of women's basketball has never looked better.
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies.
Definitely, we're not coming here to just shoot around and waste time. Like, we're here to work and get better and compete hard. And our practice boys have done a great job too.
Really great for the state champion in high school for golf.
She's just tremendous. She's really good, and sky's the limit for her. I think she's only going to get better and better. So I'm super proud of her.
Against her today.
I'm just happy we won. It was cool to play against her, and obviously a really great game. And like you said, this crowd was absolutely incredible.
Awesome, Caitlin. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Chennedy Carter is noted for her no-nonsense approach and unwavering will to achieve the greatest. Carter was not thrilled when ESPN's newest rankings put Caitlin Clark ahead of her. To understand why Carter reacted so emotionally, we need to look at what these rankings represent for a player of her quality. Carter saw being rated lower than Clark as a personal attack rather than a professional one.
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. Did she say anything? I don't know what she said.
The ESPN rankings are regarded as a measure of a player's position in the WNBA and the larger basketball world. Carter, who has always taken pleasure in her hard work and skill, felt as if she had been placed lower than a younger, less experienced athlete. Carter has always thought that her influence on the court speaks for itself, so seeing someone else ranked ahead of her, especially someone she feels hasn't encountered the same level of competition or adversity, set off an emotional response. Carter was forthright on social media. In a series of postings that immediately became viral, she voiced her amazement, irritation, and outrage. Her postings were more than just about the ranking. They were a larger criticism of what she sees as prejudice in the sports media. Carter believes that the media often misses her successes in favor of tales that do not accurately portray events on the court.
Doubled off to Carter. Her jumper is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Consistency was crucial to Carter's argument. She noted that although Clark has given some outstanding performances, she has also suffered substantially at times. Carter, on the other hand, views herself as someone who has consistently provided high-level performances in all settings. To her, the rating damaged not just her, but also the notion of meritocracy in athletics. Carter's response was not only about her standing, she regarded it as part of a bigger trend of disrespect toward older WNBA players. According to her, the league and its media partners often promote fresh faces and developing stars over longtime players. Carter has long been disturbed by this apparent lack of respect, and the ESPN rankings were just the boiling point. Caitlin Clark's debut in the WNBA was one of the most anticipated in recent memory. Clark was supposed to make an easy transition into the professional ranks after a brilliant collegiate career in which she outperformed her competitors. However, the truth has been far more complicated.
I think just staying confident and staying aggressive, that's what I tell myself, but I thought they played really good defense to start on us, and then when we kind of got into a flow and played a little bit more in transition, we were a lot.
Clark's WNBA debut was a microcosm of the difficulty she would experience throughout her first season. She scored 20 points in her debut game, which is a respectable total for any athlete, much alone a rookie. However, her performance was overshadowed by her 10 turnovers, the most ever by a player making their WNBA debut. This figure was a clear indication that the transition from college to professional would be more difficult than many had expected. The WNBA is a beast that is different from NCAA basketball. The speed is quicker, the players are stronger, and the defenses are more advanced. Clark, who had grown used to being the main point of her team's attack in college, found this a big adjustment. She couldn't depend just on her natural skill. She needed to learn how to play in a system where everyone on the court could take over a game. Clark's toughest problem has been dealing with the toughness of the WNBA. In college, she often had a physical edge over her opponents, which allowed her to drive to the basket and finish via contact. However, in the WNBA, she faced defenders who were at least as powerful as she was. This resulted in some difficult lessons early on, as she struggled to complete pieces that would have been simple for her in college. Clark's shot has also been erratic. While she has caught fire from beyond the arc in games, she has also been unable to purchase a bucket on certain occasions. Clark and her coaches have been frustrated by her inconsistency since they know she is capable of much more. Her troubles have been exacerbated by rival teams' focus on her as a main scoring threat, often sending double teams her way or assigning their best defender to her. Clark's decision-making abilities have also been called into question. In college, she was allowed to experiment and make high-risk, high-reward moves. In the WNBA, these identical plays often result in turnovers or poor shots. Clark has had to learn how to select her places and make better judgments with the ball, which has been an ongoing process throughout her first season. Clark has been under great strain. She came into the league with huge expectations and every performance was evaluated. While some rookies are allowed time to learn and make errors, Clark has been expected to perform from the start. This strain has definitely contributed to some of her difficulties as she attempts to live up to the great expectations placed upon her. Chennedy Carter has never shied away from a challenge, and her fiery attitude has led to both success and controversy throughout her career. While her ability on the court is evident, her off-court conduct has often made headlines for the wrong reasons. Carter's off-court conduct has also been a point of contention. She has had public disagreements with teammates and coaches, resulting in bans and trades that have jeopardized her career. One of the most famous occurrences came when she was with the Atlanta Dream and was suspended indefinitely for behavior detrimental to the team. According to reports, the incident started with an argument on the bench that quickly escalated into a near physical brawl. This resulted in her eventual trade to the Los Angeles Sparks, where she intended to start anew.
Sometimes we missed a couple blockouts and missed some little things, little chippy things, loose balls. So I think that if we can just capitalize on that, run our stuff, and play defense, we'll be.
Carter's stint with the Sparks was not without its obstacles. Despite exhibiting glimpses of skill on the court, she failed to adapt to the team's scheme and was benched for bad behavior. This resulted in her departure from the club, forcing her to play a season abroad before returning to the WNBA. Carter's antics often obscured her amazing abilities. At her peak, she was one of the league's most electric players, capable of dominating a game with her scoring and playmaking talents. However, her reputation as a volatile player has made it difficult for her to establish consistency in her career. Coaches are generally wary of giving her a lengthy leash since they know her fury might flare up at any time and disrupt the team's cohesion.
Offensive rebound, Savely, and she's pretty tied up by Carter.
Many saw Carter's response to the ESPN rankings as just another illustration of her fiery disposition. However, her fans saw it as a reasonable reaction to what they saw as a regular pattern of media mistreatment. They believe that Carter has every right to be unhappy, considering her record of achievement and the challenges she has faced throughout her career. In a league as cutthroat as the WNBA, mental toughness is as vital as athletic talent. Players are continuously pushed to perform, not just by their coaches and teammates, but also by the media and spectators. This strain may be intense, particularly for younger players or those yet to establish themselves in the league. Caitlin Clark's troubles during her debut season demonstrate how the mental element of the game may influence performance. Clark, who entered the league with tremendous expectations, was under enormous pressure to live up to them. Every error was studied, and every bad performance was thoroughly investigated. This type of attention may be very tough for any player to endure, much like a rookie who is still getting used to the professional game.
Shelley almost got to steal. How about Clark?
Clark's ability to overcome her early troubles will be critical to her future in the league. Mental toughness is more than simply managing pressure. It is also about learning from errors, keeping focused, and not allowing criticism to undermine your confidence. If Clark can develop this mental resilience, she has the potential to be one of the best players in the WNBA. Chennedy Carter considers mental toughness to be both a strength and a struggle. On the one hand, her competitive nature and inability to let up have made her one of the league's most feared players. She thrives in high-pressure circumstances, typically delivering her finest performances when the stakes are highest. However, that same passion may work against her, resulting in emotional outbursts and disputes that have sometimes destroyed her career.
To be back in the WNBA, I think that Saturday I'm going to play with more energy, more tempo, and I'm for sure going to do a lot better.
Fans, commentators, and the media will keep a close eye on Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark as they progress in their WNBA careers. Both players have the potential to be among the league's greatest, but their paths will be determined by how they manage the next hurdles. Clark's future is also promising, but she must continue to improve her game and adapt to the demands of the professional level. Her potential is apparent, but the adjustment from college to the WNBA has shown that she still has room for improvement. If she continues to develop and learn from her experiences, she has the potential to become one of the league's best players. Both athletes have endured hurdles, but they can overcome them and succeed in the WNBA. How they react to these obstacles and continue to grow as athletes and individuals will influence their careers. The competition between Carter and Clark, whether genuine or perceived, will be one of the most intriguing themes to watch in the coming years. Both players are tremendously competitive and each has something to show. As they continue to build and perfect their games, it will be intriguing to observe how their paths cross and how they inspire one another to new heights. Chennedy Carter is noted for her no-nonsense approach and unwavering will to achieve the greatest. Carter was not thrilled when ESPN's newest rankings put Caitlin Clark ahead of her. To understand why Carter reacted so emotionally, we need to look at what these rankings represent for a player of her quality. Carter saw being rated lower than Clark as a personal attack rather than a professional one.
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. Did she say anything? I don't know what she said.
The ESPN rankings are regarded as a measure of a player's position in the WNBA and the larger basketball world. Carter, who has always taken pleasure in her hard work and skill, felt as if she had been placed lower than a younger, less experienced athlete. Carter has always thought that her influence on the court speaks for itself, so seeing someone else ranked ahead of her, especially someone she feels hasn't encountered the same level of competition or adversity, set off an emotional response. Carter was forthright on social media. In a series of postings that immediately became viral, she voiced her amazement, irritation, and outrage. Her postings were more than just about the ranking. They were a larger criticism of what she sees as prejudice in the sports media. Carter believes that the media often misses her successes in favor of tales that do not accurately portray events on the court.
Avery doubled off to Carter. Her jumper is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Consistency was crucial to Carter's argument. She noted that although Clark has given some outstanding performances, she has also suffered substantially at times. Carter, on the other hand, views herself as someone who has consistently provided high-level performances in all settings. To her, the rating damaged not just her, but also the notion of meritocracy in athletics. Carter's response was not only about her standing, she regarded it as part of a bigger trend of disrespect toward older WNBA players. According to her, the league and its media partners often promote fresh faces and developing stars over longtime players. Carter has long been disturbed by this apparent lack of respect, and the ESPN rankings were just the boiling point. Caitlin Clark's debut in the WNBA was one of the most anticipated in recent memory. Clark was supposed to make an easy transition into the professional ranks after a brilliant collegiate career in which she outperformed her competitors. However, the truth has been far more complicated.
I think just staying confident and staying aggressive, that's what I tell myself, but I thought they played really good defense to start on us, and then when we kind of got into a flow and played a little bit more in transition, we were a lot.
Clark's WNBA debut was a microcosm of the difficulty she would experience throughout her first season. She scored 20 points in her debut game, which is a respectable total for any athlete, much alone a rookie. However, her performance was overshadowed by her 10 turnovers, the most ever by a player making their WNBA debut. This figure was a clear indication that the transition from college to professional would be more difficult than many had expected. The WNBA is a beast that is different from NCAA basketball. The speed is quicker, the players are stronger, and the defenses are more advanced. Clark, who had grown used to being the main point of her team's attack in college, found this a big adjustment. She couldn't depend just on her natural skill. She needed to learn how to play in a system where everyone on the court could take over a game. Clark's toughest problem has been dealing with the toughness of the WNBA. In college, she often had a physical edge over her opponents, which allowed her to drive to the basket and finish via contact. However, in the WNBA, she faced defenders who were at least as powerful as she was. This resulted in some difficult lessons early on, as she struggled to complete pieces that would have been simple for her in college. Clark's shot has also been erratic. While she has caught fire from beyond the arc in games, she has also been unable to purchase a bucket on certain occasions. Clark and her coaches have been frustrated by her inconsistency since they know she is capable of much more. Her troubles have been exacerbated by rival teams' focus on her as a main scoring threat, often sending double teams her way or assigning their best defender to her. Clark's decision-making abilities have also been called into question. In college, she was allowed to experiment and make high-risk, high-reward moves. In the WNBA, these identical plays often result in turnovers or poor shots. Clark has had to learn how to select her places and make better judgments with the ball, which has been an ongoing process throughout her first season. Clark has been under great strain. She came into the league with huge expectations and every performance was evaluated. While some rookies are allowed time to learn and make errors, Clark has been expected to perform from the start. This strain has definitely contributed to some of her difficulties as she attempts to live up to the great expectations placed upon her. Kennedy Carter has never shied away from a challenge, and her fiery attitude has led to both success and controversy throughout her career. While her ability on the court is evident, her off-court conduct has often made headlines for the wrong reasons. Carter's off-court conduct has also been a point of contention. She has had public disagreements with teammates and coaches, resulting in bans and trades that have jeopardized her career. One of the most famous occurrences came when she was with the Atlanta Dream and was suspended indefinitely for behavior detrimental to the team. According to reports, the incident started with an argument on the bench that quickly escalated into a near physical brawl. This resulted in her eventual trade to the Los Angeles Sparks, where she intended to start anew.
Sometimes we missed a couple blockouts and missed some little things, little chippy things, loose balls. So I think that if we can just capitalize on that, run our stuff and play defense, we'll be...
Carter's stint with the Sparks was not without its obstacles. Despite exhibiting glimpses of skill on the court, she failed to adapt to the team's scheme and was benched for bad behavior. This resulted in her departure from the club, forcing her to play a season abroad before returning to the WNBA. Carter's antics often obscured her amazing abilities. At her peak, she was one of the league's most electric players, capable of dominating a game with her scoring and playmaking talents. However, her reputation as a volatile player has made it difficult for her to establish consistency in her career. Coaches are generally wary of giving her a lengthy leash since they know her fury might flare up at any time and disrupt the team's cohesion.
Offensive rebound, Savali, and she's pretty tied up by Carter.
Many saw Carter's response to the ESPN rankings as just another illustration of her fiery disposition. However, her fans saw it as a reasonable reaction to what they saw as a regular pattern of media mistreatment. They believe that Carter has every right to be unhappy, considering her record of achievement and the challenges she has faced throughout her career. In a league as cutthroat as the WNBA, mental toughness is as vital as athletic talent. Players are continuously pushed to perform, not just by their coaches and teammates, but also by the media and spectators. This strain may be intense, particularly for younger players or those yet to establish themselves in the league. Caitlin Clark's troubles during her debut season demonstrate how the mental element of the game may influence performance. Clark, who entered the league with tremendous expectations, was under enormous pressure to live up to them. Every error was studied, and every bad performance was thoroughly investigated. This type of attention may be very tough for any player to endure, much like a rookie who is still getting used to the professional game.
Shelley almost got the steal. How about Clark?
Clark's ability to overcome her early troubles will be critical to her future in the league. Mental toughness is more than simply managing pressure. It is also about learning from errors, keeping focused, and not allowing criticism to undermine your confidence. If Clark can develop this mental resilience, she has the potential to be one of the best players in the WNBA. Kennedy Carter considers mental toughness to be both a strength and a struggle. On the one hand, her competitive nature and inability to let up have made her one of the league's most feared players. She thrives in high-pressure circumstances, typically delivering her finest performances when the stakes are highest. However, that same passion may work against her, resulting in emotional outbursts and disputes that have sometimes destroyed her career.
To be back in the WNBA, I think that Saturday I'm going to play with more energy, more tempo, and I'm for sure going to do a lot better.
Fans, commentators, and the media will keep a close eye on Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark as they progress in their WNBA careers. Both players have the potential to be among the league's greatest, but their paths will be determined by how they manage the next hurdles. Clark's future is also promising, but she must continue to improve her game and adapt to the demands of the professional level. Her potential is apparent, but the adjustment from college to the WNBA has shown that she still has room for improvement. If she continues to develop and learn from her experiences, she has the potential to become one of the league's best players. Both athletes have endured hurdles, but they can overcome them and succeed in the WNBA. How they react to these obstacles and continue to grow as athletes and individuals will influence their careers. The competition between Carter and Clark, whether genuine or perceived, will be one of the most intriguing themes to watch in the coming years. Both players are tremendously competitive and each has something to show. As they continue to build and perfect their games, it will be intriguing to observe how their paths cross and how they inspire one another to new heights. Do you know that two important subjects have lately sparked debate in the basketball community? First, ESPN Media has revealed shocking details about Sheryl Swoopes.
You know, I've always been a huge Kobe Bryant fan. For me, it's always been MJ and Kobe. Like, in that order, but MJ and Kobe. And so I've always felt honestly very honored anytime.
A name associated with brilliance in women's basketball. Second, Caitlin Clark just performed a performance that has the potential to change the sport's future.
All right, Caitlin, your first WNBA game, was it everything you expected it to be? I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted, but tell us how you feel about your first performance.
In this video, we'll delve into these themes and discuss what they represent for basketball's present and future. So stay tuned as we reveal these fantastic advancements.
Caitlin Clark herself of the WNBA. Let's get to the WNBA and this sensational rookie from the Indiana Fever who continues.
Let's begin with the surprising findings regarding Sheryl Swoopes. Swoopes, a pioneer in women's basketball, has long been recognized for her contributions to the game.
So I'm right-handed, but I love going left. I don't know how that makes sense, but I do. And everybody knew what my signature move was, but nobody could ever stop it. Like, I like to get the ball at, do you know what the elbow is?
However, recent ESPN investigations have shed additional light on her career and personal life, prompting concerns and conversations among the basketball world.
You know, talked to him for a minute and introduced him to a couple of my friends that were with me, and like he hugged me. And I had never met Gigi prior to that day. So he introduced me to Gigi, shook her hand, and
ESPN's investigative team unearthed previously undisclosed facts. These discoveries include claims of professional disputes and personal difficulties that have been kept quiet for years.
How about mine? Can I get a let's go Sparks? Let's go Sparks! Let's go Sparks! Let's go Sparks!
Given Swoopes' well-known reputation, many people are surprised by these results. According to the article, conflicts and arguments arose throughout her stellar career involving team management, other players,
thought about this moment. You know, I've dreamed of doing a lot of things, but I don't know if I ever thought about what it would feel like to be a part.
and club executives and players. According to the article, Swoopes was allegedly engaged in heated debates over team strategy and player positions on many occasions.
Honestly, being the only female on that stage, basketball player, athlete, whatever, to me, like, I sat there and I feel very...
While these disagreements were often minimized or overlooked at the time,
Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Sheryl Swoopes, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game. I know the Monica McNutts and others were getting very, very frustrated at all of the buzz that was going in her direction, not to hate on Caitlin Clark in any way, because I'm sure Monica McNutt does not feel that way. She just knows that there were people on the ground pounding the pavement that were doing so much for women's basketball everywhere that deserved their praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up.
they now provide a fresh perspective on the difficulties she encountered.
There seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself.
Sports writers and experts have responded to these disclosures, offering context and commentary. Some say that these conflicts are unavoidable in a high-stakes professional atmosphere, particularly in a competitive sport like basketball. Additional information put a pall over Swoopes' otherwise illustrious career, implying that her path was more convoluted than previously thought.
You have any idea how that serves to stain any kind of critique of Caitlin Clark? Because that gives fodder to those who believe she's being hated on and ostracized to some degree. Do you realize that, Cheryl Swoops, you're insane to do that? Let me tell you why you're insane to do that. Because Cheryl Swoops, you're one of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball. That's why. See, you won a championship in college at Texas Tech. You won 3 Olympic gold medals. You won 4 WNBA championships.
Cheryl Swoops' career has been a shining example for women in athletics, but she, like any other public personality, has faced criticism. It is critical to consider these findings from the perspective of her accomplishments. While these concerns may complicate our view of her legacy, they do not.
Basketball coach Cheryl Swoops, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling us why she wanted to transfer.
Indeed, athletes' emotional and professional image, while dealing with internal tensions and demands.
More, if you had talked about it more, they would have played more games. Like I had the power to go up to ESPN and say, you know, directors and producers and cameramen and everybody else flocked to the WNBA at the time when it wasn't nearly as popular as it was today. That's what Monica McNutt accused me of, but it's okay. It's just a disagreement. See, y'all act like there's some buzz and it's a problem. No, it's a debate show. She has her opinion, I have mine. I happen to believe she was wrong. I happen to believe I was right. And I happen to believe the facts have shown that I was right. How was the attendance for Team USA in the Olympics? What would it have been like if Caitlin Clark was playing on that team?
Regardless of the new disclosures, Cheryl Swoops' accomplishments in women's basketball are tremendous. Her accomplishments, which include 3 WNBA MVP awards and several titles, demonstrate her talent and determination. She was the first player signed by the WNBA and has served as a role model for other players.
She mistreated players.
It was the environment she had created. I was belittled, humiliated, made to feel like...
Her pioneering role in establishing the WNBA and her impact on the evolution of women's basketball cannot be emphasized enough. Swoops contributed to increasing the prominence of women's athletics.
You know, it doesn't happen without them. It doesn't happen without the amazing coaches. And, you know, to kind of end my career on this note and hopefully winning a national title would be perfect.
Paving the way for future generations of female athletes. While the additional findings complicate her tale, they do not reduce the fundamental influence she has had on the game.
You know, the last thing I say in my speech tomorrow is, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from, dreams do come true. And for me, growing up in a very small town and
Let's now focus our attention on Caitlin Clark. The rising talent recently made news with an incredible performance that stunned the basketball world.
The pace was amazing. That's fun basketball people like to watch, but overall, definitely what I expected.
Clark just produced a game-changing performance, one of the most amazing in recent memory.
Today, after securing 2 WNBA awards for the month of August, she was named Eastern Conference Player of the Month. And
in a game that will be remembered for years, Caitlin Clark demonstrated her remarkable abilities and strategic insight. Her ability to understand the game, execute moves with precision, and lead her side to victory has captivated both fans and commentators alike.
Do y'all notice when she became relevant? When she was waving her hand over her face, mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to the competition before she ran into LSU and got bum rushed in the Final Four. That's what made Angel Reese popular en route to LSU winning the national championship a couple of years ago in women's college basketball. And then we watched Angel Reese and her popularity elevate along with her NIL money and beyond. And we paid attention to her. And then Caitlin Clark took her out. But we still remembered. And then Dawn Staley in South Carolina came along and said, Caitlin Clark, we love you. We appreciate you. We're going to send you home with this L. And in the post-game celebration, on the podium accepting the national championship trophy, what did Dawn Staley do? Celebrated Caitlin Clark.
Clark's performance was about redefining what is possible on the court, not simply putting up amazing statistics. Caitlin Clark herself has been open about her approach to the game. She has emphasized the value of preparation, collaboration, and mental toughness. Her performance represented the culmination of these characteristics, demonstrating her capacity to achieve under duress while also inspiring her colleagues.
What's different about winning this a second time?
I think it's a little different. I think the biggest thing for myself is like this is my senior year. You know, it's special being able to celebrate this with my teammates and having them here and preparing for a Final Four game.
Sports pundits have hailed Caitlin Clark's achievement as a watershed event in basketball history. Her unique playing style and leadership have established a new standard for what is achievable in the sport. Analysts have lauded her ability to push the limits of conventional play and provide a new viewpoint on how the game may be played. Caitlin Clark's achievements are nothing short of astounding. Her performance demonstrates a thorough comprehension of the game and the ability to carry out intricate schemes with ease. She's more than simply a good player, she's a game changer.
I don't think that's what I'm about either, is, you know, yeah, I'm sad we lost this game, but I'm also so proud of myself. I'm so proud of my teammates. I'm so proud of this program. There's a lot to be proud of, but you know, there's going to be tears. It is sad that this is all over and this is the last time I'm going to put on an Iowa jersey. So I think just reflecting back and, you know, soaking in everything that I was able to do, because
Clark's ability to have such a significant impact on the game demonstrates her talent and dedication. She is establishing new standards and motivating a new generation of players to think differently about the sport.
Gotta go up, but honestly, I make that in practice. So when we were in the huddle, that's what I was envisioning. You know, we never stop believing. That's what our group's about. So, you know, that was every single person. It doesn't come down to just...
The effect of Caitlin Clark's performance is already being felt in the basketball community. Young players and spectators alike are encouraged by her accomplishments, and coaches are starting to adapt components of her playstyle into their methods. Clark's achievement is more than simply a personal win. It catalyzes change in the sport. Clark's performance has far-reaching repercussions beyond her career. It reflects the changing nature of basketball and how the sport is always pushing limits. Her unique approach challenges traditional beliefs and inspires others to consider new alternatives. Coaches and players are already aware of Clark's effect.
Every single person in our locker room believed, and to be honest, this year was probably more special than last year. You know, the teams we had to go through to get to this point, you know, we won the Big Ten tournament.
Many people want to adjust their own ideas and training methods to include components of her play style. This signifies a huge shift in the sport, as players and teams want to imitate Clark's success and take the game to new heights.
Off the mark. Clark comes down. There's one of those long passes. Oh, little French pastry from Chelsea Mitchell.
Caitlin Clark's performance exemplifies how invention and originality can lead to athletic success. Her ability to combine talent, strategy, and leadership establishes a new standard for players of all levels.
Obviously, our offense is only going to get better and better, but if we can, you know, find a way to get rid of 7 points every single game, I think we'll be in a position to be a lot more successful down the stretch.
Clark's performance has far-reaching consequences beyond the game. It is generating a cultural revolution in how basketball is played and viewed, as well as creating new options for players and teams to pursue. As the basketball world digests the significance of Clark's accomplishment, we're witnessing a ripple effect in training and coaching. Clark has spurred players to embrace new skills and ideas, and coaches are rethinking their game plans. This progression demonstrates Clark's far-reaching accomplishments. When we compare the legacies of Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark, we find two outstanding women who have both made tremendous contributions to the sport of basketball. While their careers span many decades, their influence on the sport is unmistakable.
0.5 seconds left. How did you get open, first of all?
That's a play we work on every single day in practice. And to be honest, our first look was to get a layup at the rim because we knew they had...
Basketball historians and commentators have discussed the similarities between Swoopes and Clark. Both women have made a significant contributions to the sport, although in different ways. Swoopes' legacy is based on her pioneering position in women's basketball, while Clark's influence is characterized by her inventive play and leadership. Sheryl Swoopes' career was a pioneering one, paving the door for future generations of female athletes. Her accomplishments and hardships demonstrate the difficulties of being a pioneer in a male-dominated sport.
I think, you know, my main focus is on preparing for a game. I think that's pretty easy for me. I don't think you need.
On the other side, Caitlin Clark's legacy is still being written, but her recent performance has already established new benchmarks for what is possible in basketball. She symbolizes the sport's future and its progress. The legacies of Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark are inextricably linked, showing basketball's continual evolution. Swoopes' efforts provided the groundwork for the expansion of women's basketball, while Clark's accomplishments demonstrated the sport's dynamic progression.
Easy shot.
As we look to the future of basketball, both Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark will surely impact the sport's destiny. Swoopes' trials and victories teach future players crucial lessons, while Clark's accomplishments give a glimpse into the possibilities that lie ahead. Swoopes and Clark's legacies have inspired young players and fans alike. Their tales inspire and remind us of the importance of persistence and invention in athletics. Basketball has a bright future ahead of it, with fresh talent rising and pushing the game's limits.
Any kind of critique of Caitlin Clark, because that gives fodder to those who believe she's being hated on and ostracized to some degree. Do you realize that, Sheryl Swoopes, you're insane to do that? Let me tell you why you're insane to do that. Because Sheryl Swoopes, you're one of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball. That's why. See, you won a championship in college at Texas Tech. You won.
Caitlin Clark's and Sheryl Swoopes' legacies will affect the future of basketball. Their contributions highlight the sport's continual growth and potential for future greatness. As time goes on, we may expect to witness more basketball innovation and brilliance. Swoopes and Clark's influences will shape and inspire the next generation of players and fans. The new generation of basketball players is already having an effect, and Swoopes and Clark's attitude to the game exemplifies this. These rising stars are building on the groundwork built by their predecessors and establishing new standards for success. Summarize, the latest discoveries concerning Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark's game-changing performances provide an intriguing peek into the world of basketball. While Swoopes' newly revealed elements complicate her biography, her effect on the sport remains significant. Caitlin Clark's recent successes illustrate the game's continual progress and the bright future that awaits. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the most recent events in basketball. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more stuff about sports and beyond. We'd want to hear your opinions on the new disclosures about Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark's performances. What do you believe these changes indicate for the future of basketball? Please let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned for more interesting developments.